Okay, so this is going to be a pretty simple and short one today. Here is why paid ads, and I'm not going to go too platform specific, but you can take a guess. Google, whether that's pay-per-click, search, whatever it may be, Facebook campaigns and YouTube ads, LinkedIn ads and TikTok shop and all that's fine too. But just literally why paid ads is the king, right? Is like number one by a mile. Now some people will lead you to not believe this stuff. You need to build a community. You need to have a organic audience, right? In my experience as someone who across a year spends over £500,000 on paid ads of my own money, never mind people that I help run paid ads, or my team helps. It's not really me, it's my team. But we probably spend like £1 million a year on Facebook ads. And I also have friends who spend like 50, 60 million a year, which is crazy. So I'm basing this off a lot of experience, right? Now, paid ads are the best form of traffic for a couple of different reasons. One is going to be data, that's probably the best. Two is going to be tracking. Number three is going to be revenue projections. And let me think of anything else. That's probably about it, because all kind of, I can divulge on each of these things, right? Now, data straight away is super important. In my experience right now, it is way easier to create a customer than a subscriber, because ultimately, people will buy stuff from someone that they maybe don't like that much. I'm not saying they dislike you, but they don't know you because of the strength of the product and what they want. To create a follower, someone has to actually like you and enjoy what you post. And I would rather have someone just go onto my website than follow me and have to be nurtured for a long time and then, you know, potentially go and buy something off me. I want a bit more control than that. The data that we get is exceptional, right? And the data and tracking kind of complement each other in some ways, because the data you often get from the tracking, stuff like Google Tag Manager, GA4, the Google Analytics platform, Facebook Pixels, if you're like me and you use third-party software like Hyros or what's the other one that people use? Wicked Reports, ClickMagic, like all of these things, I use them to track offline conversions or stuff that people would call server-side tracking, how your customers are basically, how they're using and interacting with your business outside of what is commonly trackable. It's now trackable if you use the right stuff. I've got one nose hair. 1 second. That was sore. I think I need to start getting those things at the barbers. You know what I'm talking about? They put the glue in your nose and pull it out on the stuff. I would cry for hours, but I'm starting to get like a mad hairy nose. I'm like some old man, what's wrong with me? So the data we get means that we are able to use this data and this tracking here as a combined effort to do what we call remarketing or retargeting, right? So to give you an idea, someone visits my website and imagine it's like stepping in a puddle of oil. So stepped in a puddle of oil and they walk off of my website. It'd be easy enough to understand how to follow that person's footsteps, because you're just going to try and follow the black oily footsteps, right? And the reason oil is a good example is that you don't get to follow them forever. And as you would walk, you know, more oil would fall off the shoes and all that kind of stuff. But you get to remarket to these people, which means with specific audiences of my exact ideal customer profile that I can create, I can deliberately, without hoping that they're going to see my content, or hoping they're going to come on my page, or hoping they're going to buy from me, or hoping they're going to phone me, I'm going to do the hard work for them and be like, hey, hello, you want to buy this? You want to do this thing? Like, come and do it, right? I generate probably 90% of my business off of paid ads. The rest is more than likely referrals, because we're really good at what we do. So people will refer us often, but it doesn't come close to what we do with our paid traffic, right? So we can use these data profiles for future products. You know, you're a home improvements business, and let's say you start in windows and doors. You do a huge amount of windows and doors, you absolutely smash it, you decide you want to start going and doing conservatories and you want to do extensions. You can build lookalike and custom audiences with this stuff here, because you know these people were qualified buyers, they're going to have shared interests, shared places they visit online. You can take all that data and create a new audience to automatically have a hot lead launch pad for your new offer or your new service. Whereas previously it would just be you posting on Instagram or posting on Facebook saying, hey, we start doing extensions of conservatories now. You get a couple of likes. I would rather spend money to acquire a customer, right? Like, it just makes complete sense. We can track people wherever they go on the internet. And there's ways to get around iOS tracking and Google tracking and all that kind of stuff. There's ways to get around it. So we can still track people wherever they go and capture a lot of the data from them as well. And it gives us a degree of control because we are spending the money and controlling the campaigns. It gives us a degree of control on the flow of the leads, right? Because if you control the flow, you control the game. If I was able to monopolize one industry, any industry, right, and I controlled all the leads and everyone was below me, I hold that industry to ransom because I control the flow. It's like if you've seen Mad Max, you know, Immortan Joe in Mad Max, and everyone loves him, thinks he's like a god because he's the guy that turns the water on to the people dying of thirst. That's what this is. When you control the lead flow and you're not just waiting, then great. You can have a lot more control over how much business you do, right? And you might be thinking, oh, Richard, like, but I think my customers like this type of stuff better. I like doing leaflets, I like doing this. Here's what you need to understand, right? Your customers exist online. They're online. You're just not putting the right shit in the right places. You are saying that you want to catch an exotic warm water fish and you're taking your fishing rod and putting it in the Thames and being surprised that you're not catching a dolphin. It's obvious why it's not happening, right? It's totally obvious. It makes complete sense, actually, that it's not happening because you're not equipping yourself with the right tools to go and get the result that you want. It's obvious, right? So it goes back to that adage that people will often use, and I want to talk about revenue projection in a second, right? So I'm going to rewrite that to remind myself. But you can't change the wind. And the representative example of this is you can't change where your customers go. We're not looking to reinvent marketing. We're not looking to do it even harder than it already is and try and do stuff in an even more difficult fashion. We know people spend a lot of time on social media. We know we can target them with ads. So yes, you can't adjust the wind, aka you can't change where they're going to go and what they're going to do, but you can adjust your sales. You can change how you're going to approach your own marketing to make sure that you land in front of those types of people more often, right? It's like a river. If you were to see a river going through here and this is all your water, right? And you decide that you want to catch a fish, do you think it would be better to stick 2 stakes in the ground here and put a net across the water here? It's just the flow. You're adjusting your net. The fish are going to come past anyway. If people aren't catching them, right, that's fine. And imagine this like your ads. Or do you think it would be better for me to get a shovel out, right? And, you know, as the water's bending around here, start to dig and dig and dig and dig until a little bit of water flows through here and does a little whirlpool before coming back down there. And I can sit here all day and try and grab fish. I'm not trying to create, like, the people are here, they're existing, they're moving already. I'm not trying to create anything different. I'm not trying to make it harder than it already is. I'm just adjusting myself to put myself in the place where they already spend a huge amount of time so that I can show them an offer, show them a service, and get them further down my process of them becoming a qualified buyer. Very simple, right? Revenue projection's excellent because if you are someone, is that how that works? Oh, whoa, I didn't know this was a feature on this whiteboard. Boom, how cool is that? So if you know that, like, for example, I sometimes spend as much as like £1,000 a day or more on Facebook ads. So that's quite a lot, but I also know that I can have anywhere between a 2 and a 6 ROAS, return on ad spend. So let's just be really, really fair and say that that's 3, right? It's often higher and we aggressively spend on the campaigns that works. That's another video for another day on how to divide your spend and all that kind of stuff. But I know I can base it off historic results as we do more of this stuff and as we build larger audiences and better offers and get more data and more tracking metrics. I can look and understand that for every 10K I spend, I get a return of somewhere between 20 and 60K. Which means that when it comes down to the end of the year and we realize that we've got quite a lot of money left in the business, we can really aggressively assign money to our marketing because we know based on historic evidence that we get between a 2 and a 6x on our money, right? And we've still got deliverables and all that stuff on here, but in cost to come off and cool. But I know that I can make a 2 to 6x, which is exceptional, like really, really exceptional. So why would I not spend more money on the paid traffic? And paid traffic is meant to be evergreen, by the way. You should never be in points of, you know, you run ads and then you don't. Like you run ads and then you get busy and then you turn them all off, and then you get quiet and you start running them again, and that's how you do it back and forth. What you should be doing is growing your team and grow your enterprise that way, right? You can't convince me that paid traffic isn't the best way to do it. And guess what? We can all do paid traffic today, right now. You can't become an influencer, have a big following right now. You can't do it. It takes time. You need to grow an audience, and your audience will grow over time through your paid traffic anyway, right? And you'll get the benefit of organic in time. But if you want to make money now, you want to become more profitable in like the next couple of weeks, couple of months, years, and you don't want to wait 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years hoping to build a massive audience, then it's time to spend money on paid ads. You don't need to start crazy like £1,000 a day or more like we do. You can start on 20 quid a day, 10 quid a day, and I guarantee you'll get a result. You might need to be phoning those leads, you might need to be doing those kind of things and working those leads. That's being an entrepreneur. We do what we have to do. That's our world, right? But spending money on ads is going to give you better revenue projections, more data, a stronger business. It makes your business more valuable. It reduces stress when it comes to actually acquiring future work. You're all good. I hope you enjoyed this video. Like, comment, subscribe if you did. Peace.